The rain wasn't just falling. It was hammering against the roof of the 1969 Ford Mustang like gravel. Elias gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white. He was somewhere on the Arizona-New Mexico border, a stretch of Route 66 that civilization had forgotten decades ago. The dashboard clock flickered, 11:55 p.m. Elias was tired. He'd been driving for 14 hours straight, trying to outrun a bad breakup in Chicago. The radio was his only company, but even that was dying. The classic rock station, drowning in stag. Then he saw her. She stood on the shoulder of the road, illuminated briefly by a flash of lightning. She wore a white sundress, completely wrong for the weather, and no shoes. She didn't have her thumb out. She was just standing there, staring at the asphalt. Elias slammed on the brakes. The Mustang fishtailed on the slick road before coming to a halt 20 feet past her. He checked the rearview mirror. She hadn't moved. He reversed, rolling down the passenger window. "Hey, you need a ride?" She turned slowly. She looked young, maybe 20. Her hair was plastered to her face, and her skin was the color of moonlight. She didn't say a word. She just opened the door and slid in. The air in the car instantly dropped 20 degrees. It smelled of ozone and wet earth. "Where are you headed?" Elias asked, turning up the heater. "Home," she whispered. Her voice sounded like dry leaves skittering on pavement. 7 miles up, the white house with the blue shutters. Elias nodded and put the car in gear. "I'm Elias. What's your name?" "Mary." They drove in silence for 5 miles. Elias tried to make small talk, but Mary just stared out the windshield, her body rigid. The radio suddenly cut through the static, playing a song clearly, unchained melody. Mary stiffened. "Slow down," she said. It wasn't a request, it was a command. "What? I'm only doing 50. "Slow down." Her voice distorted, becoming guttural. Elias took his foot off the gas. Kung fu. Okay. I'm slowing down. Just as the speedometer dropped to 30. They hit the curve, dead man's curve. It was sharper than the signs warned. The back tires lost traction on a patch of oil and rain. The car spun. If he had been going 50, they would have rolled into the ravine. At 30, Elias managed to wrestle the steering wheel, skidding onto the gravel shoulder, but coming to a safe stop, inches from the guardrail. He was panting, heart hammering against his ribs. He turned to look at Mary. "Jesus, you saved us. How did you know that curve was—" The passenger seat was empty. Elias blinked. He looked in the back seat. Nothing. The door was still locked. The seatbelt was still buckled. But on the leather seat, where she had been sitting, there was a puddle of water. Panic set in. He threw the car into drive and sped up the road. 2 miles later, he saw it. A white house with blue shutters, peeling paint, and a porch light flickering. Elias ran to the door and pounded on. An old woman answered, wrapped in a shawl. "There was a girl," Elias stammered. "Mary, she was in my car. We almost crashed, and then she just vanished." "Is she here?" The old woman didn't look scared. She looked sad. She stepped back and pointed to a framed photograph on the mantelpiece. It was the girl, the same white dress. "That's Mary," the woman said softly. "She died on Dead Man's Curve on her prom night, 1965. Elias felt the blood drain from his face. "But she was just in my car. She tries to come home every year," the woman said, closing the door gently. "She never makes it past the curve, but sounds like tonight she finally made sure someone else did." Elias walked back to his Mustang. The rain had stopped. He looked at the passenger seat. The puddle of water was gone, but the radio turned on by itself one last time. "I've hungered for your touch." Elias didn't wait. He floored the gas and didn't